Hey everybody, it's Eric and Brian from Slammin Famine. Normally, you'd see us with our hairnets on at our meal packing event in northern Colorado with Feed My Starving Children. We started this event because we had a heart for starving children around the globe. And with the pandemic, the need is even greater now, and we need your help.
We're so glad you could join us tonight for a really special event with two of our friends, Jason Gray and Nichole Nordeman, called Feed Our World. Together, we want to raise awareness and support for two leading organizations that are on the front lines of this hunger crisis around the world, Feed My Starving Children and Convoy of Hope. Together, we can all make a difference right now. Thanks again for joining us tonight.
Jason Gray.
Nichole Nordeman. I can't believe it.
Oh my gosh.
Long time no see.
I know. It's been a really long time. How are you, my friend?
I know. I'm doing pretty good. Doing good. Glad to be hanging out with you. I've been hoping for an opportunity to at least do a show, hopefully tour with you for a number of years now. I didn't imagine that.
Honestly, like how many years have we been talking about touring together? Like how many years have we been wanting
to do this? It's been many years, yeah.
So this is not this is not a bus. This is not a multi-city tour, but it's the best that we've got right now. And I'm just happy to see your face and make a little music today with you.
It's kind of a multi-city tour, but the cities are coming to us.
I like it. I like the positive reframing. Wow. Very nice.
I'm trying. Have to keep it positive.
So we're going to share some songs, swap some stories. Yeah. And there's a special reason that we're doing this today in this format. And we're going to tell you a little bit more about that later. But hi everybody else. Thanks for joining us today in this new Zoom world that we live in.
Yeah. So I'm going to start us out. That's cool.
Fair enough. What are you singing first?
Well, maybe it'll be a surprise. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I thought I'd play this is a song I think a lot of people might know, and it seems appropriate for the time that we're in.
Okay.
It's called Sparrows. Here we go.
Oh, I love this song.
Oh, thanks. I was hoping you'd say that. La 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 miss, everything can change when you make it his. Oh, he wants to carry you, carefree in the care of God. When you let it go, you find that he's enough. Oh, you never leave his love. You're not on your own. La la la, la 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 la. He can hold the world, he can hold this moment. La la la, la 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 la. Not a field of flowers escapes his notice. Oh, oh, even the sparrow knows he holds tomorrow. There's not a single star that's out of place. There's nothing broken he can't remake. If you long for hope when you're afraid, oh, oh, look at the sparrow. Look at the sparrow. La la la, la 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 la. He can hold the world, he can hold this moment. La la la, la 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 la. Not a field of flowers escapes his notice. Oh, oh, even the sparrow knows he holds tomorrow. La la la, even the sparrow knows he holds tomorrow.
Yay!
Oh, thank you.
I love that song.
Thank you very much.
I love it.
What are you going to play?
Here's a song that I wrote for Charlie when he was a brand new baby, and I was a very insecure, nervous new mom. I had read all the books and all the articles and taken all the advice from all the grandmas and the aunts, and I still just felt like I didn't know enough. Like I didn't have enough knowledge to be a good mom. Instead of just leaning into my intuition and the tools that are already a part of me to love and raise this little life. So anyway, I wrote this song for Charlie called Brave, just because I absolutely felt the opposite of brave at the time. The gate is wide, the road is paved in moderation. The crowd is kind and quick to pull you in. Welcome to the middle ground. It's safe and sound, and until now, it's where I've been. 'Cause it's been fear that ties me down to everything, but it's been love, your love, that cuts the strings. So long, status quo, I think I just let go, 'cause you make me wanna be brave. The way it always was is no longer good enough. You make me wanna be brave. 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 I am small and I speak when I'm spoken to. I am willing to give it all. I say your name, just your name, and I'm ready to jump, even ready to fall. Why did I ever take a vow of compromise? Why did I ever try to leave this all inside? So long, status quo, I think I just let go, 'cause you make me wanna be brave. The way it always was is no longer good enough. You make me wanna be brave. 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 Oh, I've never known a fire that didn't begin with a flame. And every storm will start with just a drop of rain. But if you believe in me, that changes everything. So long, I'm gone, 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 yeah. So long, status quo. I think I just let go, 'cause you make me wanna be brave. The way it always was is no longer good enough. You make me wanna be brave. 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 Yeah. Brave.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're so good at what you do. I love it. I wonder if we should tell everybody about why we're here today.
So here is the sort of origin story of how Jason and I came to work with these incredible organizations that we want to introduce you to. Years ago, I did an event in northern Colorado called Slammin, Famine by just an incredible organization that is just really just reaching out locally to vulnerable communities and ministering to them with food and supplies and just endless ways. So that was their big fundraiser. So we had such a great time. I was so moved by their work in the community. So you did the next event the next year, right? So that's kind of like the little baby version of why we're here today. So this year is different for obvious reasons. And so what we have done is partner with not just Slammin Famine, but with two other really, really incredible organizations. The first one is called Feed My Starving Children. You might be familiar with them. And the second one is called Convoy of Hope. And both of these organizations are absolutely committed to staying the course during these unprecedented times. Because, if people were on the verge of starvation before, the predictions are that after COVID or during COVID, people will be like 265 million people are kind of on the brink of starvation right now because of this pandemic. So we're not here to like throw a bunch of facts and figures at you, but we are here because we really, really believe in what these folks are doing.
The poorest of the poor were struggling before COVID, and now they're getting pushed over the edge. And a lot of that is because Westerners, Americans, are very generous, and they give, and for very understandable reasons, people just aren't giving as much, and that is having a deadly effect for the poorest of the poor, for sure.
It really is, and they're saying that the number of deaths from starvation will far outpace deaths from actual COVID, which is so sobering. And as you said, Jason, like I don't know about the people that you interact with on a regular basis, but I know so many generous people, our communities and our churches, and people who have absolutely been moved by world starvation issues and have given so graciously from their own resources. But we're living in such an interesting time and a difficult time when it's kind of like my heart still is aware of the need and my desire to give toward the need, but also to protect our own resources because everybody feels vulnerable right now. So I think we're just here just to put it in front of you again and say the need is real. A lot of these places that use people to pack and ship food to the poorest of the poor can't even gather and do that. So machines are having to do that, but they're still committed to doing it. So we just want to we want to thank you, first of all, for joining us and for being willing to hear our hearts on this. And and also just asking you to consider how you might help some of these folks who are just deeply and devastatingly affected by hunger across the world.
And now we're going to hear from these two organizations and hear the heart of why they do what they do. And then we'll be back.
We will be back, and we know that people are fatigued by videos and statistics, and I get it. I totally do. But we're just kind of asking you personally, because this is so dear to our hearts, if you would just hang in there with us, watch these 2 videos, just get a snapshot of what they're doing in the world, and then we're going to come back and share a bunch more music with you guys.
Imagine a world without hunger. This is the world we dream of. A world where bright futures are the norm, where children, families, and communities thrive. But every year, millions of children are still dying from preventable causes, such as pneumonia, diarrhea, malaria, and undernutrition. Hunger causes nearly half of deaths in children under 5 years old. In spite of all this, we know that hope is not lost. It starts with food, and it starts with all of us. We believe in feeding kids. As a Christian nonprofit, we're dedicated to seeing every child whole in body and spirit. Nutrition allows children to grow, thrive, and develop to their full potential. We believe in feeding spirits of children around the world and volunteers and donors. We love like Jesus, with abandon because he first loved us. We believe our lives are made better when we give our time and resources to help others. We believe in empowering communities, that all people deserve the dignity of self-reliance. We work with food distribution partners that stay with communities for the long haul, empowering them to move from relief to development. Imagine a world without hunger. It's not just a dream, it's a possibility. And it's because of you.
For more than 25 years, Convoy of Hope has been alleviating the suffering of others and sharing God's love, whether on the heels of a disaster or in vulnerable communities around the world. We believe Jesus cares even more than we do for the needs of the poor and the suffering. And if we claim to follow him, then caring for others isn't optional. It's the job of the church. And Convoy of Hope serves to resource and mobilize the church, so when people find themselves suffering through their worst days, the church can be there offering hope and help. In dozens of cities every year, Convoy of Hope brings together local churches, businesses, and service organizations to provide families with free groceries, medical and dental screenings, haircuts, job fairs, clothing, shoes, and more. And during times of disaster, we are one of the first to respond, distributing food, water, and other critical supplies provided by our generous corporate partners and delivered by an army of volunteers. But there's another kind of disaster that has our attention. It's a daily disaster, a predictable disaster, as 16,000 children die from hunger and malnutrition every 24 hours. That's why we are rapidly investing our energy and resources in Convoy of Hope's international program, which is centered around 3 key initiatives that help families and communities lift themselves out of poverty and hunger. The first is our Children's Feeding Initiative, through which we are feeding and caring for more than 300,000 children in 18 countries. These are kids who would otherwise be scavenging for food or going hungry altogether, but now they're safe. They're in school where they are learning, thriving, and pursuing a brighter future. The second initiative is our Women's Empowerment Program, which helps thousands of women and girls, many of whom have been abandoned and abused, to reach their full potential. Through this program, women now own their own businesses and are feeding their own kids, and teenage girls are learning about their God-given value. The third key strategy is our Agriculture Initiative, which equips vulnerable farmers and families with the training, tools, and seeds they need to produce life-sustaining crops, which translates to millions of meals and vital income. Through this Christ-like approach to meeting physical and spiritual needs, we're seeing entire communities transformed. And while we celebrate all that's been done, we know there is much more to do. Our sights are set on feeding 1 million kids, and together with church leaders like you and God's favor, we believe it can happen. Thank you for standing with us.
Hi, I'm Hal Donaldson with Convoy of Hope. Thank you so much for tuning into this event and investing your time to help us feed children and families all around the globe. We've had a long-standing partnership with Feed My Starving Children. In fact, it's in large part because of that partnership that we're able to feed 300,000 children in 18 countries every school day. But now with the pandemic, as you can understand, food insecurity is rising at an alarming rate all over the world. Well, through the help of our partners, Convoy of Hope has delivered now 80 million meals globally to families affected by COVID-19. In addition, we are continuing our jobs training program for women, and we're helping them start their own businesses so they can feed their own kids. And we're continuing to train farmers in best practices so they can increase their yields. So your gift today will help Convoy of Hope and Feed My Starving Children continue to provide help to those who are hungry and hurting. Both organizations have received the highest 4-star rating from the watchdog group Charity Navigator, so you can trust that your donation will be used wisely and effectively. You can text your donation to 7797 with the keyword FEED, or you can go to feedourworldnow.org. Children and their families across the country and around the world, they're hurting and they're hungry, but your gift will change that. Please text or go to the website now to give children and families hope. God bless.
Thank you, Hal. Thank you, Convoy of Hope, for linking arms with us to feed children around the world. I'm Mark Crea, CEO of Feed My Starving Children, and thank you for joining us tonight for this premier event. We are so blessed to have partners like Convoy of Hope and hosts like Slammin, Famine, and you at this event to help us feed God's starving children. For over 30 years, FMSC has been producing a very unique, nutritious food to help children to fully develop. Every year, millions of children die from malnutrition. And now, COVID-19 is driving an additional 150 million people into poverty. Our partners tell us there is greater fear about malnutrition and starvation than there is about COVID-19. Please be a part of a movement that will help end hunger in the world.
Welcome back, everybody. Thank you so much for watching those videos and for learning a little bit more about these two organizations that we really are thrilled to be partnering with, because we believe so much in their commitment to global starvation, to world hunger, to people who are vulnerable, to the poorest of the poor. Like, there's a lot of people doing this work in the world, and we just feel so confident about getting behind these particular organizations. You know, we talk so much right now about loving our neighbor, and what does that really mean to love your neighbor, and who is my neighbor? And I love the way that these organizations are answering that question. They, in their own separate entities were doing incredible work in the world, and then they decided to kind of come together and link arms and do the work together. And that's why we are here as well.
Jesus paints a picture for us in the book of Matthew of the scene when we stand before God. You know, he says that we'll be asked some questions, and it's just interesting to note, you know, that we aren't asked any theological questions. What he asks is so much more simple and complicated than all of that. He says, when I was hungry, did you feed me? When I was thirsty, did you give me drink? You know, when you saw the powerless and the vulnerable, did you do something about it? Because that was me. what you do unto the least of these, the poor, the powerless, the vulnerable. You're doing that unto me. As I think about that verse, I think, man, that's the most significant, meaningful worship that I have to offer, is caring for the poor, the powerless, and the vulnerable, And so we're asking you to worship with us.
That's a really
time we have together.
Good reminder. I was thinking the other day, I was having a conversation with a girlfriend of mine, and of course, like everybody else, we're trying to figure out how to live in this new normal right now. And I heard myself just talking about how personally inconvenienced I was by, I don't know, are the kids going back to school? Maybe, maybe not. When am I going to get to walk into a store again without a mask? Oh my gosh, we have to have our groceries delivered again. Like all these, all these modern inconveniences. And we just forget that so much of the world is literally wondering how to even feed their child something small to keep them alive. And that is not a fear I have ever experienced. I don't think you've probably ever experienced that particular fear or worry. So this is just a good reminder too, I think, of changing our perspective a little bit, just realizing that even in these difficult times where things feel harder than usual, we are still so incredibly blessed and have the opportunity to change somebody's life, to really change somebody's life.
So throughout the rest of the time while we're playing, and we promise we're going to play some songs, throughout the rest of the time that we're playing, there's going to be a link somewhere on your screen. You can see it. We can't see it.
Yeah.
There's going to be a link somewhere. And so at any time, please click on that link and consider giving. So who's going to play the next song?
I will. I'll play another song.
Okay. All right. Good. All right, good. Let's hear it.
This is an older song of mine, but I think it communicates what I was just talking about, like just learning to pay attention to the things that matter and getting perspective on the things that don't. Don't mind if you've got something nice to say about me. I enjoy an accolade like the rest. You could take my picture and hang it in a gallery with all the who's and so-and-sos that used to be the best. But such and such, it wouldn't matter much. I won't lie, it feels alright to see your name in lights. We all need an attaboy, attagirl. But in the end, I want to hang my hat on more besides the temporary trappings of this world. I want to leave a legacy. How will they remember me? Did I choose to love? Did I point to you enough to make a mark on things? I want to leave an offering, a child of mercy and grace, who blessed your name unapologetically, and leave that kind of legacy. I don't have to look too far or too long a while to make a lengthy list of all that I enjoy. It's an accumulating trinket and a treasure pile where moth and rust, thieves and such will soon enough destroy. I want to leave a legacy. How will they remember me? Did I choose to love? Did I point to you enough to make a mark on things? I want to leave an offering, a child of mercy and grace, who blessed your name unapologetically, and leave that kind of legacy. Not well traveled, not well read, not well-to-do or well-bred. I just wanna hear instead Well done, good and faithful one. Oh, good and faithful one. I want to leave a legacy. How will they remember me? Did I choose to love? Did I point to you enough to make a mark on things? I want to leave an offering. Child of mercy and grace, who blessed your name unapologetically, and leave that kind of legacy.
Yeah. I was hoping you'd play that one.
Hey.
It's wonderful. I'm a big fan. So
thank you.
Yeah, thanks for playing that one.
You bet. What do you got?
I've got a song that was I know that you've experienced this. I know that everybody watching this has experienced this, where you've gone through something difficult and you've come out the other side more whole, you know.
Yeah.
And that's because this is the way of transformation, you know. So I used to be afraid, but now I'm more like, oh wow, everything's falling apart again. That must mean I'm in the middle of disorder, which means I'm about to learn something that's going to change my life, you know. So this is a song I wrote about that, called Order, Jason. Disorder, Reorder. I thought everything was as it should be. I believed that it was all up to me, as if I was in control. Then I lost everything I thought that I knew. I couldn't see that you were leading me to something beautiful. Order, disorder, reorder over and over. Order, disorder, reorder over and over. Wouldn't be the way I choose, but this is how you make me do. Yeah. So here I am, I'm all in. Though it feels like falling, if that's what it takes for you to break through. Order, disorder, reorder over and over and over. And I thought the storm would never come to an end. I begged you again and again to send a miracle. The storm was the way you broke my heart open wide to get to what was hidden inside and call it beautiful. Oh, order, disorder, reorder over and over. Yeah. So here I am, I'm all in. Though it feels like falling, if that's what it takes for you to break through, give me the grace when I'm afraid to say, here I go, I'm ready. I know you won't forget me. You'll give me the grace to find a way through. Order, disorder, reorder over and over and over. And I don't really want to change if I'm telling you the truth. But like it or not, your love won't stop till it makes me new. So give me all that you got, from the bottom to top, till I look like you. Order, disorder, reorder over and over. Order, disorder, reorder over and over. Yeah. Wouldn't be the way I choose, but this is how you make me new. So here I am, I'm all in. Though it feels like falling, if that's what it takes for you to break through, give me the faith when I'm afraid to say, here I go, I'm ready. I know you won't forget me. You'll give me the grace to find a way through. Order, disorder, reorder over and over and over. Order, disorder, reorder. Order, Order, disorder, reorder, over and over and over.
Yes. Love it. I love it.
I lost my earbud halfway through that one, but.
Oh, you did? Right. I didn't even notice.
Yeah. You didn't see it? Okay. All right. Cool.
I'm just guessing that is one of those songs that people come up to and want to talk about after your shows, because it's just, it's such a universal experience. Once you recognize that pattern in your life, you see it over and over again in relationships and in struggle. And I bet you've heard some really good and hard stories about order, disorder, reorder in people's lives.
So you were asking me earlier what I'm up to in this time. What are you up to in this time?
I've just been, well, here's my confession. I'm well, you know this, but my confession to everyone else is that I am a raging introvert. And so initially,
that means she's a really angry introvert. When she's an introvert, she just is
sorry, not raging like mad raging. Yes,
okay.
I'm
cool.
Yeah. But so having to stay home did not feel at all like a punishment to me, like, oh no, I have to stay home and with my books and my kids and my dog who I love and I can't leave. Darn,
Oh yeah.
I have liked the simplicity of things lately. It's been a good reminder of how complicated I used to make things and how busy, Okay, so I'm going to share one more song.
What are you going to play for us? Okay.
This song has a whole different story that's long and heavy and emotional, and it doesn't necessarily feel like this is the moment to tell the story. But right now, it's sort of my song to the courage of the moment that people are summoning and living into in a really scary time. And I know people who have been very sick and who have pulled through, and the families that have rallied and the communities that have rallied around them. And even as we're talking about linking arms together to address world hunger and starvation and this crisis right now, this just feels like a good song to sing to the really courageous people who are stepping up. They told me I'd never get to tell my story. Too many bullet holes. It would take a miracle. These voices inside my head like poison, trying to steal my hope and silencing my soul. But my story is only now beginning, so don't try to write my ending. Nobody gets to sing my song. And this is the sound of surviving. This is my farewell to fear. This is my whole heart deciding I'm still here. I'm still here. And I'm not done fighting, 'cause this is the sound of surviving. These pieces, the ones that left me bleeding, intended for my pain, became the gift you gave me. I gathered those pieces into a mountain. My freedom is in view. I'm stronger than I knew. And this hill is not the one I die on. I'm gonna lift my eyes and I'm gonna keep on climbing. And this is the sound of surviving. This is my farewell to fear. This is my whole heart deciding I'm still here. I'm still here. And and I'm not done fighting, 'cause this is the sound of surviving. I'm still here. Say it to the ache, lying there awake. Say it to your fear. I'm still here. Say it to the pain. Say it to the rain. Say it to your tears. And this is the sound of surviving. This is my farewell, farewell. And this is my whole heart deciding I'm still here. I'm still here. And I'm not done fighting. No, I'm not done fighting. And I am still rising. 'Cause this is the sound of surviving.
Nichole, that's so beautiful.
Thanks, Jason.
I love that song
We're
so much.
Here. We're still here.
Yeah. Thank you. Gosh.
Welcome. We are, gosh, this has been fun. This has just been good for my heart.
Me too.
And thank you, everybody who is joining us. We're just really grateful that you've stayed with us. Thanks for hearing how important this organization is to us and its mission and its work in really desperate and vulnerable places around the globe. And we've given you a lot of information and a lot of words. We have no shortage of words, either of us. But sometimes I think it's just important to take a minute to be quiet and to give our heart and our spirits just a chance to sort of clear the room a little bit and clutter out a little bit and really reflect on maybe how God is asking us to respond in this moment. So Jason, would you just play something beautiful as you always do, and we're just going to be quiet. That seems like a weird thing to do, like on the internet, but we're just going to be quiet for a minute and reflective.
Yeah, and I'm just going to add this too, because like you said, we have a lot of words, but I don't mean this in any kind of manipulative way, but my own experience in my own life. Fear wants to be Lord of my life and wants to make all the decisions and call all the shots, and I so often give control and allegiance to my fear. And I find that I have to, in order to be free, I need to stage little rebellions. One of the most reliable rebellions that works in my life is in seasons when the money is tight and all that. Those become the most important seasons for me to give as a reminder to myself that the economy is not my provider, my job is not my provider, but God is my provider, the one who says, what you do unto the least of these, you do unto me, And so we're just going to take a minute here, and you can see the link on the screen, and I'm just going to play the song real quiet. And we just want to encourage you, if the Lord would put it on your heart, if this is, a moment for you, then click the link while I play for about a minute, and then I'll go into my last song. But now's a good time to give. All right, here we go. God put a million doors in the world for his love to walk through. One of those doors is you. I said, God put a million doors in the world for his love to walk through. One of those doors is you. Oh, 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 oh. We bring the kingdom come. Oh, 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 oh. With every act of love, Jesus, help us carry you alive in us. Your light shines through. With every act of love, we bring the kingdom come. Oh, 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 oh. We bring the kingdom come. Oh, 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 oh. With every act of love, Jesus, help us carry you alive in us. Your light shines through. With every act of love, we bring the kingdom come. Oh, with every act of love, bring the kingdom come. Is like a stone and I'm running far from home. Remind me who I am. When I can't receive your love, afraid I'll never be enough. Remind me who I am. If I'm your beloved, can you help me believe? I'm the one you love. That will be enough. I'm the one you love. Tell me once again who I am to you, who I am to you. Whoa, tell me lest I forget who I am to you, that I belong to you. Tell me
Love it. It's so hard not to sing along with you. I was afraid that if I started singing it, like the weird delay Zoom thing, I thought that's going to mess him up. But oh, it's so hard not to sing with you. Gosh, I love that song.
Oh, well, thank you.
Love it. I love it.
You know, and as we wrap things up, you know, I think about, and you've been through hardship, and I've been through hardship, and everyone watching this, I know we've all gone through things. You were saying something earlier about you know, that and I was moved by this, about how a mother right now is trying to figure out if she can put together a few crumbs to keep her child alive, you know, and we got to let that in. We got to let that break our heart.
Yeah.
And remember the times when, you know, when you're going through something and you felt so alone, and then those moments where you heard something, or a friend showed up in your life, and it reminded you that you weren't forgotten,
right,
and abandoned. And the link is still on the screen somewhere, and this is a moment where we can do that right now. When we give, we can remind someone who they are, that they are not forgotten, that they are not abandoned, that they are beloved, you know. And so that's
Absolutely.
why we gathered here. Yeah,
that's right. And to remind ourselves of who we are in Christ.
Absolutely.
Yes. You know, we are so privileged to be able to respond to this kind of a crisis.
Yes. Yeah.
And so thank you, Jason, first of all, for this time. This has just felt like so good, so wonderful. And thanks to you guys who are watching for, you know, kind of linking arms with us. These are our neighbors. You are our neighbors. The world is our neighbor, and we are called to love our neighbor. And this is such a beautiful opportunity to get to do that. Can't thank you enough
we get to do this again.
Oh, I hope so. I so hope so. I would love that. But you guys have been generous with your time with us today, and we're grateful. So bless you. And my friend, I will talk to you soon, I hope.
Sounds good. Thank you, Nichole.
Okay. Bye, everybody.
Bye.